friends, welcome to Minimalist. On this channel, I talk about decluttering and minimizing and how minimalism has really changed my life all for the better. So today I wanted to talk about some tips and rules that I've learned over the past several years that have really helped me, one, to declutter a lot faster, and also just like things that I keep in the back of my mind when I'm thinking about buying things, or if I'm thinking like I come in my house and I'm not happy. What are some of the tips that I have in my toolbox that I can use to really help me process through that? So I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you find something that is helpful. If you do enjoy it, remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna try and become much more regular with creating a video every week. So you'll see more tips and tricks about minimalism and decluttering and organization. All right, friends, so let's go to tip number one, and these aren't necessarily in any kind of order, but these are just the things that were the ramblings of my mind yesterday while I was in the library. So number one is really to schedule time in to declutter your house. And what I mean by that is that if you do not create a time to really say this is the day or this is the time, or put it on your calendar that you're gonna declutter, if you're somebody that struggles with getting motivated, it's never gonna happen. So schedule it in just like you would a dentist appointment or maybe something else you don't super enjoy. And it just was a time that I kind of scheduled, okay, on Tuesday, I have a free afternoon and I'm going to do this. So scheduling a time in to declutter and have a big declutter, set aside a couple of hours, really helps you kickstart and get motivated to keep going. All right, along with number one, number two is just setting a mindset and a goal for yourself on what you want your house to look like. Maybe you've seen houses in magazines or you've seen your friends' houses and you really feel like you want your space to flow like that. So even if you can only make a vision in your mind for that one drawer or that one room, it's really gonna help you down the line to keep going because you already have that vision of that goal in your head that you really want. Number three is as you're going through decluttering your stuff, you've set aside the time, you have a vision, you have a goal. While you are starting to declutter, make sure you create a box or a bag that has things that you're not sure about if you're ready to get rid of it yet. That really helped me so that I didn't slow down and I have to take a lot of time to think about each little object, but I was able to quickly say to myself, I'm not sure I'm ready to get rid of this yet, but I already have that box and I'm ready to go. So set it in that box, leave it for a certain amount of time. Sometimes I like to put it on my calendar so that I remember to go back to that box to get rid of those things. Once it's been a certain amount of time, 3 to 6 months, definitely I think the longest you need to really wait. If it's a seasonal item, waiting for that season to come. And then just really have not gone back to look for it. Try not to open up that box or bag and label that bag before you put it in there, but try not to go back in it because then, that nostalgia might hit you or that what if hit you, and then you wanna hang on to it even though you knew full well that you didn't even think about it when you were going in there. The next tip is that you want to make sure that you are creating homes as you go. So once you've done a big declutter, you don't want to just throw everything back in there. You want to think about, is this item actually belong in this space? Do my keys belong upstairs on my bathroom counter? Or would it be easier for me to always know where they are if it is downstairs by the door? Now, this is something that I have really tried to help my family do. I have a home for the keys and I have a basket for anything that is extra, like wallets. Not saying that always works for all my family members, but it does help me. And so you kind of have to figure out what works for yourself. But the best you can creating homes, like I know my scissors are always underneath my sink cabinet because they always go back there. That is their home. It will help you with maintaining a clean and free space that you have a lot less clutter out. All right, friends, I'm gonna also link this video below, but the next one is just about visual clutter. So visual clutter was one of the biggest pet peeves of mine in my house. I just had little knickies and things all over the wall, just everywhere. Every surface was always fully covered. And as much as I thought that a lot of times in magazines, I feel like you see that, you see all the like tchotchkes everywhere. I could not handle that kind of visual clutter. My brain had a very hard time getting rest and peace when I walked in my house when there was so much visual clutter. So you kind of need to decide for yourself, but for me, I like to think of at least 2/3 of that flat surface is clear. I might put the things in one little place on the countertop, or we have an entry table right behind our couch in our living room, and I just put them in one little space, the remote, a candle, and a picture, and that's all I have. I don't need to fill up every little spot on every shelf. I just have my very favorite things on there, and it makes things feel a lot more like they can breathe, like I can breathe, and like there is space. All right, this one I hope will hit home because it is something that I struggled with for a long time until finally I made the rule for myself, and that is once you've cleared a space, do not go back out that day, that week, and go find something to replace and put in that space. If you get rid of a bunch of clothes, don't immediately go on Pinterest and then look on Amazon and find everything that should be in the perfect capsule wardrobe. Really sit and feel out how your closet, how your shelves, how your space feels empty. There was a time when I thought that a picture had to go on every single wall, and that if there was a blank wall space, it would make me panic. I have obviously changed a lot, and that I actually finally, when I started taking down more and more of the pictures and started freeing up some empty space, I realized that for my mind, it actually created a lot more peace and serenity when there was only the things out that I really love, and everything else kind of was clean. It was one less thing for me to have to clean or to have to dust. So really set a mindset that you're gonna wait between 2 weeks and a month and just feel your space out, feel your closet out, and see if it's really something that you are gonna want to refill, because every time you refill, you're just gonna also feel the need to have to start to declutter again, and the cycle continues. So don't make that mistake that I have been making. All right, this is one of my absolute favorite tips, and it is something that I try very hard to keep up with and do because it is super helpful. And that is that once you get your mail out of your mailbox, wherever you get your mail, immediately go through it right then when you're getting it and get rid of the trash before you even come in. Put it in the recycling bin and walk away. Now, if you live in like an apartment, maybe you can't do that, then when you immediately come in, put it in your recycling bin where you live, and it's gone. Don't create a place, don't set it down, don't walk around with it, just put it away. You know the trash is the trash. And so it doesn't become a big pile that is just something that then you feel like you need to go through later. If it is something that is important, like a bill that you need to remember, what I try to do is I try to take care of that day if possible. Like when we get our water and trash bill, I will open it up, I will get out my phone, and I will pay it right then and get rid of it. If it is something that you have to store, like taxes or something, then go put it away immediately. If you can do this without having to have a place for your mail, I feel like that's even better. If not, I also have like a little shelf by my door that I can put the like special bills. If I'm not ready to pay them, I can put them in there, and so that I remember they're right by the door and I see them every day when I walk out. Get rid of that paper trash as quickly as possible, because we all know paper trash really adds up very quickly. I do the same thing with my daughter's stuff she brings home from school. If it's not something that's special that she wants to keep, I recycle it immediately. I don't sit it around the house and wait for it to rot. I don't sit around and wait for it to rot. I just get rid of it immediately, recycle it immediately, and we sometimes hang up something that's special to her on the fridge, or we'll put it in her one little keepsake box. Okay, so this next one is something that is actually very difficult for me, but it's something that I have been working on the past 3 or so years. and that is don't walk away from something that is an easy fix. So it takes less than a minute to pick up that hairball, or to vacuum those stairs, or to pick up that underwear that got left on wherever, or put your shoes away. Just do it. Do it immediately. Don't sit around and have that, toy sitting in the corner bothering you. If it is going to take you less than a minute to get up, put it away, come back to whatever you're doing, then just go do it. Okay? It's gonna, one, be like a nice little check mark that goes off of your list of things that you have to do. And I know you're telling me, why would you put that on your checklist? But literally, if you're anything like me, you have a checklist in your brain, and every time you see that hairball, which is usually mine, or that piece of little trash that fell out of a book bag or whatever, you see it and you walk away from it, it becomes a thing on your checklist. And every time you see it, it's like still in your brain. So what I try to do the best that I can is that every time I see it, if I walk away one time, fine. But if I see it again, I have to take care of it, because it's probably only going to take me 10 seconds to really deal with, but it's going to stay in my head for 10 to 15 minutes. So I might as well deal with it and give myself that nice little check mark and check it off my list in my brain. All right, the next one, I seriously probably should have made number one if I was putting these in order, because this, as a trying to be minimalist, and this as somebody who's working on becoming a professional declutterer and organizer, is do not go out and buy a bunch of bins to fill a space that you think needs it because you have too much stuff. Get rid of your stuff first. Go through everything, get rid of all that stuff. Then create a home, and only then, after you've scoured your house for all of the boxes that could probably fit that same thing, are you gonna go out and find a solution that works, and only keep solutions that work. If it is not working immediately and you have the ability, go and return it and let somebody else use it. Do not just stick with it because you bought it, or you're lazy, or whatever. I know we all have a million excuses, but don't keep something that's not working for you, because it's not going to work for you. Okay? Whatever your family is going through, whatever you're going through at the moment, it's just not working, and that's okay. But you need to be honest with yourself, say it's not working, and go try something different. Maybe you just have too much stuff. Maybe you need to go through those things and get rid of a little bit more, because if it's not fitting in the home that you have for it, it's probably because you have too much, or it's not comfortable for you. All right, y'all, hopefully this won't turn out too weird. I had to leave. It's my daughter's birthday today, and so I went to her school and brought her lunch, and we had a good old time. So I'm back, and I wanted to finish my list real quick for y'all. So all right, guys, so we are almost done. This is the last one. And so it says, the best thing for you to remember when you're getting rid of things and you're figuring out where is your comfort zone in your house is to remember that you don't need to be like anyone else. You only need to be yourself. You do not need to buy those magazines and think that you have to live up to them. You don't need to look at pictures on Instagram. You don't even need to look at my YouTube videos, but I do recommend them. But you don't need to look at what my house looks like, because that's not your living space. It's not where you're comfortable. And so really just remember that when you compare yourself, you're only creating a unattainable goal challenge for yourself that is just not going to be realistic for you. So find your comfort zone. If you're not there, get rid of 10% more until finally you figure out where your comfort zone really is. I have been decluttering for a very long time now, and I still have like massive declutters sometimes. I just like get fed up with things, and I'm like, no, my new level of comfort is a little bit lower now, and I need to make sure that I am staying where I am very comfortable and happy coming into my house. So sometimes you have to reevaluate your things, but don't reevaluate them because somebody else told you to. Don't reevaluate them because a magazine looks really pretty and you want your house to look like that. Really think, is this something that I'm going to be comfortable living in on a daily basis? All right, y'all. So that is it. Those are some of the rules that I live and stick by, and that hopefully my decluttering, organizing, and counseling business is going to get off of the ground, and I'm going to be able to help some more people, because that's what it's all about. Once you kind of reach something and you find something that is beautiful and helps you, and I feel like is good for everyone, then you just want to share it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.